In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Zoom so you can run a virtual playground session with your class. I'd recommend you do that for 30 minutes. No longer than that is necessary. You do need to consider the safety implications beforehand, and there are a couple of settings you'll definitely want to turn on to be able to help you with that, which I'll go through with you in a few minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is once you have made your account and you've logged on to the website zoom.us, and then you want to go to under the admin section and the account management and account settings. When you've gone there, you want to go down and find the breakout room setting there. You need to have that on, and you need to make sure the next setting, remote support, is off, or that having that on will automatically turn off the breakout room. I'll show you what a breakout room is in a minute, but that's the one thing you definitely want to get going before you start doing anything else. Once that's done, everything else is all about setting up your meetings. So on the left hand side, you can click meetings, and then you can schedule a new meeting all through their website. You can do this directly in the app as well, although you can't get to the setting that we've just sorted out for the breakout rooms. So either way, you schedule a meeting and you put in the time you want. I'll leave it at my meeting. I'm going to change the time for 0 hours and 30 minutes, and we'll have it starting now. Don't want it to be a recurrent meeting. That means it keeps going on every time. We don't need anyone to register. I'm going to automatically generate an ID, and it does say we have to have a meeting's password. Yours may or may not say this. A meeting password will give an extra layer of security that you can use. You don't have to if it doesn't say it's ticked, because of the settings I'm going to show you below, but it does add an extra layer of security, which is useful. Then under the video, you want the host and the participants video to be on, and the audio to be on computer audio for both, so everything can stay as it is around there. Now these are the useful settings here. Meeting option. You don't really want to just leave that ticked as it is if this one isn't ticked. If you have it like that, people can join that room without you being present. That's not good for safety. So you need to be in the room all the time that anybody else is in. So we'll come back to that in a minute. You could mute everyone upon entry, although I wouldn't, because then otherwise everyone will start thinking they've got some problems with their audio when they haven't. This is the key one, enable waiting room. If you tick that, that means that when your meeting has started, anybody that tries to join your meeting, you will be shown on the screen, and they're like held in like a green room before a TV program. So they're not actually out front and on stage. They're in a separate room. No one can see them there apart from you. So you can see whether they are real people that you should be having in the meeting, and then you get the option to let them in. If you have this ticked as well, that's absolutely fine as long as the waiting room is ticked. Now what this means is people can try and join the meeting before it is actually scheduled to start, but they'll just be stuck there in the waiting room, not able to do anything, which is fine. You don't need to have authenticated users. You don't need to pre-assign these breakout rooms that we switched on, and you definitely don't want to record the meetings. Otherwise you're in a whole breach of GDPR and safeguarding issues there. So don't worry about that. So those are the only two options that I would have them both ticked like that, and then that way everyone has to be in the waiting room at the very most before you get there, and no one can be in the room until you have allowed them in. So if I save that now, that gives me my meeting. Then you can give out your meeting password here. Can show it there. You can give out the detail that they just click on from there to join in your meeting, or the meeting ID here so they can type it in themselves. The easiest way to do that is over on the right. It says copy invitation. So I'm going to click that, and this will be the detail. If I just click copy invitation, it will just copy that. You can paste that into Class Dojo or whatever else you're using to organize your meeting, and then that will give them all the information. So it tells them the password, the meeting ID. All they need to do is click that, and if there is a password, enter it. Okay, so that is your Zoom meeting set up. Now I'm going to try and actually go to Zoom. and should come up in a second. Let's try that again. Right, so once I'm signed in to the actual app, you can see it's got the meeting I've created there. If I press start that meeting now, I can start the meeting early or late or whenever I want. And oh, it's me. Join with computer audio. Yes, you want that. We might get some feedback now. Okay. Now, the breakout room. The breakout room is there. That allows you to choose and assign different people into different groups. You can do it automatically or you can do it manually and choose the different participants. That allows you to have like areas of your playground. Now, the only thing with this is you are not then in charge of your playground completely because you can't see and hear all of those different groups at the same time. You can only see and hear one of them. Now, that's no different to a playground. So really that should be okay to do and just keep walking around the playground, or if you like, dipping in and out of different rooms. And if anything is a problem, then the children should already know what they should do in that situation, but I've not had that so far. That's the main extra feature that allows you to split up the groups when it's a large group, so it's not just loads of them trying to talk over each other. Other things you will want to know are the waiting room. Where it says participants, if you click that, it will show a waiting room here, and then you can just click them to allow them to come in. Now, I'm the only person in this room at the moment, and that is why you can't see that there. Okay, security wise, you can see the kinds of different things you can have. You've got the enable waiting room there. The breakout rooms are there. The only other part to mention is about the chat, which they will find undoubtedly quite quickly, which is there. If you click on the chat, you can see what's being said within that particular room that you are in. Click on the chat again, it disappears. That's all there is to it. End the meeting. Job done.